Hey everybody, BATJAC J.W. It's that time again. It's Saturday morning. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on this recorder right here to get some audio of this show. Okay, we're on. It's Saturday morning, BATJAC J.W. You're tuned in. Some of you are listening to the audio. Some of you are watching, or some of you just kind of maybe I actually heard some people just tune in and they just kind of listen in. So whatever it may be that you're tuned in and everything. So I actually picked up a couple of movies since we've last got together, and we were talking about some really cool movies that I picked up, Patrick Swayze kind of stuff. So carrying on with the theme, I picked up a couple more. Maybe ones you've heard of, or maybe you haven't. I think there's one in there that might surprise you that you may have not heard of. So let's get started and read some of the comments here. And I've set this up a little bit different now. I got a laptop here. I figured this might be easier. We're going high tech these days on these radio shows. Okay, so I got a laptop set up now so I can read up some stuff. So I got the Arizona Ghost Riders right there in the first one. I got Frank. Joe P, my man Joe P says, great retro chat, JW. You're spot on in my opinion. And I too am grateful for the awesome childhood I received. One of my favorite memories was the bike my parents gave me in 1969, a Schwinn orange crate, I want to say, with stick shift. A couple of years ago, I went looking for one, thinking it would be a great nostalgia. I gave up when I found out that a decent one in original shape was about $3,500. I just bought an orange crate t-shirt instead. Sometimes we wind up doing stuff like that where it's like, maybe it would just make two with a shirt. Terry Bates asked BATJAC, did you get the name from John Wayne's production company back in his movies? I sure did. Big fan of John Wayne. He's one of my all-time heroes. And the Duke is here, right here, behind me, always in the videos. All right, Scott F. The movies with Charles Bronson as entertainment indeed. Yes, I actually just picked up another Charles Bronson movie that I like. I bought it. I'm noticing that they're releasing a lot of these now on Blu-ray, so I may just have to spend a little bit more money here on a couple extras that I really want to get of Bronson's films on Blu-ray. One of them is that they actually released Death Wish 2 on Blu-ray, and it's called like the uncut version, so I may be looking into that. Well, we'll see. And also Brannigan got released on Blu-ray for that's not the other edition called the Twilight Time, I think it is. The Twilight Time one, very expensive. I remember it being up there in price. So now that this other one came out by, I believe it's Kino Studios that put it out. Now I'm not too savvy with all these. I'm starting to get familiar with them. I know them because they did Malone, and there's another one that I got. What was it? I got Malone and I forgot already. You see, I buy so many movies, I forgot what the other one that I bought. It'll probably come to me after the show. But Bernard Flood, as always, says, greetings from Ireland. Great video, as always. You really need to got to do something with your mic. He says he can't hear me. Well, that's also why I do the audio recording, too. Maybe click off the audio in here, and then, I don't know. Sorry, I got to work with what I got, so... I save up some money, get a bigger camera or something. Maybe we'll see. Money's always the hardships, and the channel doesn't create enough revenue anymore to be able to purchase materials for doing all this. So it's been coming out of my own pocket every time. Russ Elder says, I love when you speak about your parents and grandparents and your upbringing you enjoyed. I was telling my wife that for my 12th birthday, my father got me a Ithaca Model 49 lever action single shot 22. My God, have times changed? Yeah. You know, these days, I guess that would somebody would freak out. Hey, put your eye out. Oh, you kill somebody. So, and Douglas Walther, he says, be nice. I want you to be nice until it's time to not be nice. And when will that be? How will we know when that time is? You won't. I'll let you know. Dalton, played by Patrick Swayze, Roadhouse, 1989. Love that movie. Disposable 762, my Saturday mornings is BATJAC J.W. and The Rifleman on AMC. Good stuff, brother. That's from Disposable 762. He's another good channel that I like. And speaking of another good channel, LED 8541. Times have changed big time for sure. Good video, or great video. Big thumbs up. Thank you there for LED. And I have Jeffrey Richardson. That's why Clint Eastwood taught us all to count. Then I shoot 5 or 6. And I have the Crazy Scotsman. Crazy Scotsman's here. Nice show, my friend. Nothing like old school upbringing. Nowadays, people don't understand, and everything is softened down and eradicated, which is sad. You know, the other thing that I'm starting to notice about old school upbringing, speaking of all that, is work ethics. What happened to people that just, I mean, they cannot, it's like, here's the time you're supposed to show up to work and do your job. And I mean, it's like, I don't know, somewhere along the lines, that's no longer something, I don't know if people just feel entitled. I'm just entitled. I need to somebody's going to give me a big suitcase full of money, and that's going to be that. I don't know. I was always taught to go to work early, do the best job you can, and put in the effort. Hard work pays off. Then you play hard. All right. Mr. Mark Mack, 85. He says, have a great weekend. BATJAC J.W. I sure will. And been having a good week and everything. It's nice to get home early and do all that. Edward Petty, great show, BATJAC. Times have changed, yes. And gun websites, he says he found me through I Carry One. I Carry One is another good channel. He did a really awesome shout out for me, and that was really cool of him to do. That was pretty awesome. 454 Packer, my favorite toys were always my cap guns. We weren't allowed to have BB guns. You could shoot your eye out, you know. He says probably why he has a gun addiction now. Happy weekend. And he says he's waiting for ballpoint pens to have video camera screens, I guess. Yeah, well, things are coming. I'm sure of it. We'll see at some point. That's what's going to happen. TVs in our bathrooms. Well, that probably already exists. Blind Blitz. Great video. Back. Thank you very much. And O-Rods over there. Damn, bro. You really took me back on this one. Do you miss the 80s and 90s? Yeah, great video, he says. So thank you there, and hope everything's good for you out there in California. And we have Jeffrey Richardson again. He says, I get the audio first, and I listen and wait on pins and needles for Saturday to watch this video. So that's those that are tuning in on the other channel. I post the audio of this on my second channel. Somebody actually asked me, what's your second channel? It's BATJAC J.W. Radio Show. That's the second channel. So, and then the True Western Hero says really like the video, BATJAC J.W. So, and I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. And currently, right now, during the filming of this, the latest, greatest video on the channel. Let's go back to the main channel here and see what we have. Is The Pile, which is basically, it's another way I wanted to create that top 5 video thing, or you know, everybody's always got that top 5. What's your top 5? What's the, you know, or your go-to stuff, your zombie apocalypse kind of thing, your Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome bit. So I started thinking about that. I said, I don't know, you know, what would be some of my favorites, I guess. So I put The Pile. I just thought, well, The Pile. We'll just call it The Pile. It's a 16-minute video, so it's quite long. I do apologize if anybody felt like the thumbnail for that was misleading a little bit, with just a stock picture of a pile of cool old guns, mostly revolvers there. And, you know, everybody gets everybody. Well, really what it is, you know, it gets everybody clicking on stuff, and it helps out the channel, helps, you know, again, shows YouTube that people are interested in this channel, people are watching the videos. So that's, you know, this is how it works, and we just try to, you know, hopefully make things interesting enough for you guys to want to tune in and keep watching, and keep supporting the channel and watching and being interested in the content that I'm producing. So, and I don't want to deter away from that or shy away from that. I want to still continue on to create good stuff for you guys. A couple of the movies I picked up with Patrick Swayze, I ordered these online. First one, this is actually brand new, it didn't even get open, is Black Dog. Patrick Swayze is the truck driver. This was late 90s, I believe, I want to say. Let's find out. 98, yep. It's got Randy Travis and Meatloaf in it. And I remember renting this with my dad on VHS. Recalled it was a pretty good movie, so I decided to pick that one up. It's rated PG-13, so interesting enough. We'll see how that one turns out. Usually, a lot of the old movies I watch, like a lot of the '70s stuff and Charles Bronson stuff. Believe it or not, a lot of it was rated PG. I think The Mechanic is rated PG. Okay, and here's one that you guys may have not heard of, and I actually rented this from Blockbuster. That was the first time I saw it, and I was kind of on that. I was renting a lot of Patrick Swayze movies, just seeing ones that I never saw before. And this one's called 1114. I recall it being a very interesting film, 1114. It's got Rachel Lee Cook, Barbara Hershey, Hilary Swank, and Patrick Swayze there. And I do recall it was a pretty interesting film all about this time of 1114. I had to actually look and remember what they were talking about. So, interesting film. I remember it being interesting. So, both these haven't seen for a while, so I'm stocked up for the weekend to get to watching some of this stuff. That's kind of what I do. I like to do that kind of stuff. And, I have a stack of movies here. By the way, I was talking about this stuff in my live stream. That's right. The main course of what we're talking about here is I actually did my very first live stream this week, and it really did take me from a surprise. I found out I can do it right there from the phone here that I use for recording all this, which I didn't know you could do it. I was trying to figure out how easy it was going to do it, and it really is that easy. Because I'm not really too savvy with a lot of this stuff, so that was what was concerning me. I wanted to make sure I could actually accomplish it. But I did do it, and it was a spare the notice kind of stuff. It was like I just really just kind of clicked it on and went, yeah, let's try it. Let's just see what happens, really. So I did, and the turnout was pretty good. There was a lot of you that actually was in there asking questions, tuned in, and so it was pretty impressive, actually. I didn't know what to expect really out of it. I actually thought, man, I don't know who's really going to tune into this thing. I may be sitting there by my lonesome and wondering if anybody's actually watching or even caring that I'm doing this. But boy, have you guys showed me wrong, and that's really cool. And it just kind of reminds me again and again that the kind of support that I do have here on the channel, and that's why we continue filming stuff and doing stuff for you guys and all that, and then hopefully give you incentive to come back and view something else or watch something else. So during that live stream, I broke out a couple of movies, or had a little stack of movies. I had The Longest Day with it's jam packed with all kinds of awesome stars. Of course, you got John Wayne and Robert Mitchum and stuff right there. Just off the front of the cover. Really cool movie. That's a World War II type movie. Or I think I found that at a yard sale. And Hatari. Hatari is another good one. I like this one. I heard that they actually had to redo the audio because of John Wayne's language, because he was a lot of that stuff he was live and right there, man. He didn't really use a stunt double most of the time. So that was definitely a good one. And some more John Wayne films. What a surprise. The War Wagon, him and Kirk Douglas. Great movie. I like that. He says, you want to hear how we're going to do this? He goes, any way that we're going to not wind up hanged or killed? And he goes, he says, nope, not going to. He goes, I'm glad I didn't kill you tonight. You're funny as hell. Rooster Cogburn, Katharine Hepburn. Yeah, Marshall, what are you going to do? Kill them all? Well, I got my Navy Colt in a pocket full of cartridges. And that's how we're going to solve the problems. But great movies. Always love those flicks. And, speaking of Katharine Hepburn, she's really also really good in the African Queen with Humphrey Bogart. I'm a big Bogart fan too. I love Humphrey Bogart. He's just something about it. I have The Big Sleep I bought on DVD, and just always, you got to have that one. That's just one of the good ones. But of course, my all-time favorite Humphrey Bogart film is got to be Key Largo. Key Largo's definitely one of my favorites. So, but yeah, you gotta have that one in the collection. So the other video we did, I did this one actually for Joe P. I did the Colt Diamondback video in regards to John Wayne in the movie Brannigan, which I've actually done videos on that. I did a video on it, and I think a couple other. There's been some nice Diamondback videos I put in there, but really my interest in that gun is the movie Brannigan. Just without a doubt, Brannigan was it's just a great movie. I like that movie a lot. So I had to do that. But Joe P was actually asking me, he says, "Man, I hope all those Colts made it or survived the move." And yeah, those that know me, or I've talked about this before, where I do, sell and trade off a lot of stuff that it comes and goes out of my collection. It really does. I don't really keep a whole bunch of stuff. A lot of times they come and go. I want something else, so I look at what I have and I say, you know what, I guess I don't really play with this one much anymore, so I'll let it go. And that's just kind of what happens. Some people just can't do that, and I understand it. I totally do. There's a lot of times I sell something, I go, man, I should have kept that. I really should. I sit there going, oh, I tell you, there has been quite a few things I gotten rid of. I used to have this is a lot of this too is before YouTube, before I actually started doing this YouTube bit. I had a lever action Henry in 22. That was really fun. I had a lot of fun with that, taking it out to the range and just plinking away. It's a great plinker if you want to just kind of horse around a little bit like that. I used to have one of those. I used to have a Heritage Arms 22, the little single action gun, where I think the frame is made out of pot metal or something. But they're cheap, inexpensive guns. They're a lot of fun, and they're very accurate. I remember that. We used to shoot that thing pretty well. Along that I used to have a Vantage Arms kit that turned my Glock 17 into a 22. I believe my Glock 17, I don't know if my Glock 17 actually made it on YouTube. I don't know. Let's see. I'm curious myself too, because I'm curious how far back this channel goes. And yeah, see, I don't think it did. That is interesting, and I always thought it did, or did it? No, I don't think it did. That's really weird because I thought I remember filming stuff with it. I really do. But anyhow, I used to actually have a Glock 17 Gen 3. That was the very first Glock I ever bought. I could have sworn, like I said, I could have sworn I did videos with it. But I guess they never made it to the channel, or it was during a time period where maybe perhaps they just didn't really. Wow, that's very interesting. But so by the time I had got my second one, which is a Glock 23, that's when I started making some of the videos. So that's so strange, because I swear I was making videos of the Glock 17 that I had. I did, however, do a video on a Glock 17 Gen 2 that was not mine. And that's the other thing, is I get so many questions all the time about something like, hey, when are you going to do this? When are you going to do that? Or are you going to do any more of these? The thing is, like I said before, there's so much videos that I've done. I mean, there's over 700 of them published out there. At one time, there was near 800. But because of some things that happened, I removed some videos or put some things on Patreon and didn't, just took them off the main channel there just to protect the channel in a sense. But move some stuff around a little bit. And that's not even including all the stuff we had filmed. We had filmed so much that, a lot of it just never really made it to the channel. It just, I don't know, it didn't make it. So we just never really did anything with the footage. So, yeah. And again, like I said, the pile video, I do appreciate everybody that actually seen that video long before it went on the channel there on Patreon. So I do appreciate that. Those of you that actually saw that video on Patreon, that's awesome. I appreciate the support there as well. BATJAC J.W. on Patreon. That's been helping me out a lot too. So anyway, let me shut this down a little bit here, because that is I like this. Get to use this for reading the comments. That way, I can read up a little bit more on what you guys are talking about and saying and commenting. I get a lot of questions too that I mean, I'm flattered, believe me, but it's I don't have the answers really a lot of times. I mean, I get a lot of messages. Hey, BATJAC, what's how can you tell how old this is, or how do you know with the serial number and all that? I'm flattered you think I might know, but I don't. I'm old school. All I can say is, if you're, it depends what you're interested in. If you're interested in old military type guns, you can check out the standard catalog of military firearms, or keep up with I think it's Guns Digest that publishes it out. The standard catalog of firearms. It really goes through in a lot of times. Or if you're into Smith and Wesson's, the standard catalog of Smith and Wesson. There's actually a fourth edition out now that I heard is chock full of a lot of information. I don't even have the edition. That's a lot of times where I get what I know about my own stuff. But I mean, even then, I'm not accurate on it. I really don't know. I'm just kind of winging it from what the book says and what it's matching up here. It's kind of like this. It says, well, 14. It says it's a thriller. I'm messing with you. But I'm flattered. I appreciate I'm glad you guys think that. I know. But in reality, the best way to get the accurate information is to do a little research on it, or I'm sure there's places you can type in your serial number and find it, or books, or catalogs, reference points, and such like that. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. Let you guys enjoy your weekend, because I'm sure you don't want to spend around too much. Yeah, let me know. I guess we'll do the live thing again. Just hit that like button on this video here, and we'll if we get enough likes there, we'll do a live stream again and figure out some other way to do it, more stuff, and I'll put it out ahead of time. So now that I've run the test run on it and everything, I'll put out it ahead of time, and there's a way to actually set in a reminder for everybody to say, hey, this is an upcoming event that we're going to do, that we're going to be live, so you guys can tune in, because I know there's a lot of you that actually missed it, but because, I mean, really, that was just like a spare of the moment thing that we just did. It was like, oh, let's go live. That's kind of what happened. So anyway, hit that like button on there, that thumbs up, and we'll get that started, get that kicking again. And so also, if you've been keeping up with again, those of you that actually been on my Patreon page, you definitely know what's going on. Or if you subscribe to my second channel, again, that is BATJAC J.W. Radio Show, you kind of know there's been something new in the works. So you have to stay tuned, and I'll promise you, next radio show, we'll talk about it. Might even give you a sneak peek. But again, we'll have to see. I did make a new purchase. Yes, I did. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget, smash that thumbs up button.